just clicked go live, but it'll take just a sec.
Sure.
You know, it's funny. It always says that it's setting up, and I feel like it actually gets us live before the little ticker counts down. So
It says live now.
yeah, we're live. We're live. All right. Hi, everyone. Super excited for today's interview with Autumn over at Paleovalley. If you've been paying attention, you know that I just was a guest on Autumn's podcast, and I have been meeting her and her family. It's just like Paleovalley is like a family business. So been seeing everyone, and ironically, like a week ago, maybe Matt knew, maybe he was paying more attention than I think. I got a message from Matt saying, we want to send you some more goodies. So I'm going to share all the goodie stash with y'all.
Look at that.
Just a little, yes, we are going to talk about why Paleovalley exists today with Autumn. Super glad you're here, Autumn. And I know that you've got your own story that so many women in the Healing Rosie community are going to be able to relate to, because it seems like all of us, no matter what we're dealing with on the health front, have probably experienced some gut issues. And this is kind of like the birthing place for everything that you guys do. So why don't you just kind of back it up a little bit? Because your story ended up birthing this amazing company. I want to hear all about it.
Okay. Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you. It was such an honor to have you on our show. Everyone loved it. But okay. So when I was about a teenager, I started experiencing these stomach issues that like, I would look pregnant after meals. I would wake up in the middle of the night in pain. And like, I didn't know what it was. No one knew what it was. We went to doctor after doctor. They told me IBS, which I'm sure a lot of your audience knows is kind of a wastebasket diagnosis.
Right.
It's kind of like, we don't really know what it is, so we're going to just go with this. And they gave me Gas X. So obviously that didn't do much, didn't address the root cause. So now that we know there's a really profound gut-brain connection, I didn't understand that at the time, but because no one was able to help me, it kind of snowballed into some pretty serious mental health issues, anxiety and depression and eating disorder, all of these things that no one could really help me manage. And so I used alcohol and drugs and, just kind of flew off the rails and, kind of struggled. I didn't thrive. I was just like surviving every day, thinking that something was just kind of wrong with me and I was never going to really be vibrant or happy. And I went on like that until my husband and I got married. And this, mind you, was even happening when I was a fitness trainer, probably more fit than I've ever been in my life. I had a great job, but I was still just not well. And when we moved in together, he started to notice, wow, you're a fitness trainer, but you look pregnant. And how is that happening? And why don't you have any day answers? And so we decided to take matters into our own hands. And back in 2009, he got on the internet and we found people were experiencing relief with diet change. And I was like, yeah, okay, this is not going to work, but I'm going to do it anyway. And I did. I adopted like a paleo style diet for 30 days. And once that happened, my digestive issues were gone. The bloating was gone. The kind of waking up in the middle of the night, I didn't experience that at all. And this was just after 30 days. And there are a few other things I had to learn to really stabilize my anxiety and really heal the gut and identify some food intolerances, balance my blood sugar. There were a few other pieces of the puzzle that made me feel totally mentally and emotionally well as well. But the paleo diet was a brilliant starting place. And when I found that I could work out for 6 hours a day and not feel as good as I can when I just changed my diet, I knew that had to be my message. So I quit my awesome job, went back to school. My husband and I kind of looked for what do people need rather than more information. I think it's great to educate and people are doing that beautifully, but we needed to provide the products that made this like realistic. So people didn't have to go live on a farm or make all their own food, so that we could provide options that we wanted to eat ourselves and we wanted to feed our kids, and that could help people take their health back basically.
Yeah. One of the things that really stands out about your story, and I think this is a really important message for anyone in our community who's been dealing with anxiety and depression and maybe addictive behaviors, or maybe someone you love, your mother, your daughter, your son, someone in your family has been dealing with these behaviors. So often they get so stigmatized, like something's just wrong with the person, when there's 9 times out of 10 some kind of connection to your gut health, which is just such a crazy, almost seemingly oversimplification of what's going on. For a lot of people, it's like, what? I can't even believe that,
Yeah.
my eating disorder or my alcoholism or, the anxiety and depression has something to do with what's happening in my gut, let alone, it can be controlled with diet and, obviously if gut health's a little bit deeper, doing some of the right things to really support the good bacteria in your gut and clean everything out. So this is a really powerful story and a testament to what can be created by someone who is going to take matters into their own hands. Did you expect that there was some kind of nutritional connection? You said that you kind of like poo-pooed the whole idea of it initially.
No way. I was so skeptical because like I tried gas X, we tried talk therapy, I did antidepressants. I mean, my parents spared no expense. They are amazing. They did everything they could for me. And nothing really seemed to move the needle. Antidepressants made me feel like a zombie. Talk therapy brought awareness around the issue. But and what you're saying, to your point, like that's why I felt like I had to share this, because I did have that shame and that guilt, like, and I wasn't confident because I did think something was wrong. But when I realized part of this is like biochemical, like you said, part of this is just a gut imbalance, it was really empowering, and it kind of was like a weight lifted off my shoulder. So
Yeah.
no, I definitely did not think food would be that powerful, but man, I'm really glad it is.
So this obviously planted some seeds that ended up germinating over time and kind of blossoming into this Paleovalley experience. Why don't you
Yeah.
talk to us about the early days? Like you started looking for, where you could solve a problem. Had you guys had any experience in the food space at all? For this time? Or when your family, or like how did this come full circle?
So funny. No, we didn't. And who does that? Who just goes into food manufacturing? It was kind of crazy, but where it all started was I was a fitness trainer. So I went on this world tour and I had found that I feel better eating paleo. But when I was in a different country every day, I didn't have time to, I didn't know how to maintain it because I didn't have the products. And
Yeah.
so I had my husband bring over a bag of beef sticks, like literally a suitcase of beef sticks. And they were grass fed. I thought they were healthy, and they still kind of set my stomach off. And so I looked into the ingredients. I was just like, okay, now that I found this connection, I'm going to really dig in. And I found this ingredient called encapsulated citric acid in most beef sticks. And I was like, what is that? And so I called some manufacturers and I found out it was made from GMO corn and then coated in hydrogenated oil. They melt it into the product, and that's how they drop the pH and preserve it. So I was like, well, that's not cool. Like, where are these beef sticks without that? And you don't find them. And so Chaz and I got on the phone and we're like, well, what happened to fermentation? People used to ferment things all the time. And we learned that it was really not lucrative because it takes 4 times longer. And so no one wants to do it. So we just kept getting on the phone and getting hundreds of phone calls. And finally, we found someone in Wisconsin that was willing to do it. And they actually had the recipes that could they've been doing this for a while. And so they could help us make it taste really great. And so we just kind of took a chance and we were like, we don't know everything. We know we're going to learn. We know we have our integrity. We know we want to eat these products. So we're never going to cut corners. And we just believe that that would be enough. And so far it has. But yeah, we don't have experience. And again, that's a lot of the reason we stick to like whole food products, because high quality versions of food, your body recognizes them. It doesn't take a chemist to design them. And so that's kind of a through line in our products as well.
Yeah, yeah. So how did you know that fermenting was a thing? Like it would never occur to me that fermenting would be an alternative to preserving beef sticks.
Well, it's funny because when I'm very focused. So once I saw this really profound power of food, I dug in and I read as much as I could, came across Weston A. Price and, all of the paleo space's work about fermented foods and their ability to heal the gut. And I knew that my gut was imbalanced. So I thought, why don't we just ferment them? Why wouldn't we ferment them? So it was just a result of me reading and studying and knowing that I can't remember where I heard it first, but I know that they did ferment a lot of meats back in the day.
Mhm.
I can't remember exactly where I heard it, but I heard it and I thought, yep, that's
You
going to be the
remembered
way.
it?
That's the way. That's what we have
Yeah.
to do. I know someone will do that. And
Yeah.
they did.
So how long ago was it that you guys launched Paleo Valley?
Yes. So 2013, I think right at the beginning of
Okay.
2013. So this is our 7th year.
That's
So
awesome. All
yeah.
right. So you're known for your beef sticks. It seems like every event I go to in our space, we've got delicious beef sticks to greet us. Yes. Yes, I have a whole stash here. And I was just telling Autumn before we went on, my very favorite is the summer sausage. And in this amazing stash I have here, there's every flavor in droves except summer sausage. So my heart broke. But we do have garlic summer sausage here.
Yes.
We've got teriyaki original. And if you're not a beef person, or if you don't do the red meat thing, there's turkey. Am I missing flavors in here?
No, we have orange cran turkey and regular.
Original. Yeah, I do have orange cranberry in here somewhere. Anyway, there's lots of different flavors. And these things are like melt in your mouth, so juicy, delicious. When I brought these home from Paleo FX and shared it with Roderick, my man, he was like, oh my God, like you just don't expect you're gonna, I mean, you're used to opening like, you know, it's a total shock to the system when you like bite into something that's like melting. It's so, so good. Okay, so you started out with beef sticks, and obviously you guys have other products. So there's other things I'm sure that you're really passionate about that started like blooming other breeds like the grass-fed organ complex. So tell us a little bit about how this journey unfolded.
Okay, awesome. First, I want to mention those turkey sticks because I know you have a big community. They're AIP friendly.
Awesome.
So our beef sticks are not, turkey sticks are. Okay. So yeah, okay. So once I discovered, wow, I can feel good and stable and I have energy, I got pregnant and that was wonderful. But I started to kind of feel tired and I was like, okay, yeah, that's a normal part of pregnancy, but I still want to be hiking, all of the things. So I found, okay, what are the most nutrient dense foods in the world? And I was shocked. It was organ meats. I was like, no, I can't eat organ meats. They didn't taste good. We soaked them in milk. We made the liver pate. Sometimes my husband would just like try and sneak them in. I couldn't do it. But I knew that they're literally nature's multivitamins. So the most potent source of B12 and vitamin A and all of these minerals that we're not getting in our soil anymore. CoQ10, it's just like the list goes on. And if you think about like organs versus like a steak, you're going to have like thousands of times more vitamin A and like 200 times more vitamin B and, you know, twice the iron, twice the selenium. It's just like their nutrient profile is unmatched. So I knew I had to get them in my diet, even though I didn't want to. I even like froze balls of liver and then just like tried to
down them like a pill.
I did. And then it like, they'd come like burp wise. It was like, no. So it was actually my husband's genius idea to say, okay, let's just make this available for people by freeze drying them from grass-fed animals and we'll put them in a capsule. And that's where the grass-fed organ complex came from. And it's funny because my whole thing is like mental health. And this year, Columbia University came out with the most mental health protective foods. And of course, liver is right at the top of the list. So I didn't even know it at the time, but yeah, so that's our organ complex. People tell us all the time, it raises iron levels like for anemia because it's, you know, it doesn't have a ton of iron, which is surprising, but it has bioavailable iron, iron your body can use. Right.
And this is really important, by the way, for women who have thyroid issues. There's very often an issue with low iron. So organ meats can be an excellent, excellent way to get your iron up. It's definitely worth testing. If you're getting your labs done on a regular basis, you know, you can try supplementing with an iron supplement. You could also try supplementing with something that is very bioavailable, like you said, and has all the important cofactors with it, which is awesome. All right. So tell us about this grass-fed, grass-finished thing, because this is when I first heard that there was such a thing as grass-fed meat that they finished with corn and soy to fatten it up. I was like, WTF. I couldn't, it's shocking that they can call it grass-fed because you want all the nutritional benefits of grass-fed meat, but yet they're able to finish it off with all the stuff that you don't want and still call it something that it feels bait and switchy to me. So why don't you tell us a little about this grass-fed, grass-finished thing?
Yeah, it's like the Wild West out there, seriously, because people are waking up to the fact that people want to eat healthfully. And so they're doing whatever they can. And right now, grass-fed, unregulated. And it is true. Like, if you think about, okay, how would they ever think they could say that? Yeah, cows spend the first part of their lives, all of them, on grass. But the part that they don't want you to know is, most of them are finished in feedlots. I think something like 90% of the beef you buy is raised in feedlots. And a lot of the grass-fed beef, once we get on the phone and we're like, okay, well, do they ever eat grain? Because you'll ask these suppliers or farmers, ranchers, well, are they grass-fed? Oh, yeah. And I don't think all of them are lying and it's malicious, but I think like sometimes the right questions aren't asked. So it's like, okay, well, are they ever fed grain? Well, yeah, most of them are. And so it's just important that, yeah, unless it says 100% grass fed and grass finished, there's a little more regulation around that term. But if it's just grass fed, you got to kind of dive in and get to know them a little better. The other thing is, and why we created our other business, Wild Pastures, is there can be grass fed and there can be continuous grazed animal. And then there's grass fed and like rotationally grazed. And the benefits for the environment are very different. So when and if you can choose grass fed, where they move cows around from plot of land to plot of land, that's been shown in research to actually sequester carbon because the grass acts like a straw, and then it also builds topsoil. So there's a lot of flavors and very little regulation, which is why we're trying to just kind of bring these awesome producers who are worried about the welfare of animals and the nutritional final product and the environment, and connect them with the consumer.
Yeah, which is totally awesome. So you've got a new one.
Yeah.
A new family member.
Yes. Which one is that? Is that the
turmeric complex?
Oh, turmeric.
Yeah. So tell us about that.
Okay, our turmeric complex. So obviously there's over 2,700 different studies on the benefits of turmeric, right? But what I didn't think a lot of people knew is that there's actually studies that show that curcumin, so curcumin is the compound in turmeric that most of the research has been done on. And I'm not going to refute that there's benefit. There's a lot of benefit. But there's also been studies where curcumin-free turmeric has been shown to have benefits, is still anti-inflammatory, is still has protective effects against cancer. And so there's almost 300 different compounds in turmeric. So what we did was we sourced organic turmeric, whole food turmeric, and then we added other spices. There's this really cool study where they looked at the most DNA protective spices. Okay. So which spices help you age less quickly? Rosemary, cloves, ginger, turmeric. Those are the top 4. And so we took the whole food turmeric, organic, of course, we combined it with these 3 other DNA protective spices. And then the last thing we did, because turmeric is notoriously not bioavailable, we added fat. We added black pepper, which increases the absorption by up to 6 times. And we also had the turmeric heat treated. So all 3 of those elements make sure that you're extracting all of the wonderful compounds from turmeric. So that's our newest family member. I don't even have a bottle right here, but you do.
Yeah, I do. Well, we know, I mean, turmeric gets a lot of airtime in our space. People talking about the amazing anti-inflammatory benefits of turmeric. And, when we're dealing with all these autoimmune diseases and everything else, inflammation is a really big problem.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's really awesome. I am fascinated to hear about the bioavailability piece, adding a little fat to make sure that, that's pretty fantastic. So I don't have it with me, but I know that you also have an organ, essential C.
Yes.
Like that. Yeah. Why don't you tell us about your vitamin C?
So this is my favorite I think this is my favorite family member because
you're not supposed to have favorites.
I'm not supposed to have favorites. I know, but they're not real people. So
right.
I know it, right? Anyway, so on my mental health journey, I always experiment, and I found a little more vitamin C than normal, than what people recommend, has been really beneficial for my sense of well-being, for my energy, for all these reasons, for my immunity. So when I looked into how it was actually made, it's made from GMO corn. Most ascorbic acid is made from GMO corn in China using volatile acids. To me, now I know I'm not going to refute again that ascorbic acid, which is like the antioxidant outer shell of the vitamin C complex. Now, if you have cancer, if you have whooping cough, if you have heart disease, and you need to get intravenous vitamin C, ascorbic acid, there's benefits to that, undoubtedly, for sure. But when it comes to preventative daily use, I like to get my nutrients from food rather than from a lab. And so we just took the world's 3 most nutrient dense, vitamin C dense superfoods. And that's unripe acerola cherry. The fact that it's unripe is key because as foods ripen, especially those with vitamin C, the content declines quickly. Okay. So we wanted to make sure that it was unripe so that it maintained that nutrient level. And then camu, and amla berry. So it's just 3 awesome berries, organic, freeze dried, put in a capsule, no weird fillers. And I'm telling you, when I take like 1 to 2 of these 3 times a day, because vitamin C only lasts about 6 hours in your body. And people will tell you, oh, you can only digest about 200 milligrams, but it's not true, because you will absorb more, just not in the same ratio. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's why this guy's my favorite. We drink my little guy and I, Maverick, drink a wellness tonic in the morning. And it's just like these berries in a little water with some stevia, and we just cheers and we make it, we make it a little thing. So
Make it fun.
we make it fun. Yeah. So that's our essential C complex.
Awesome. Well, I know that figuring out how to find really great supplements and find really great, easy, convenient foods is a challenge. So I'm going to show everyone again. I'm link here for you guys to very easily get, maybe I should turn it this way, very easily get the hookup on these amazing beef sticks, amazing supplements. I feel so blessed to know you guys and to know about the amazing products that you're creating. Sourcing the vitamins and the supplements is honestly one of the most frustrating parts of this journey for me. I'm one of these people that will get it close enough and be like, fine, because it can be super tedious. And when you learn about all the stuff that they're putting in supplements that are just almost counterintuitive to what the supplement is there for the first place, these different preservatives and things that are actually toxic to the body, and it's like, well, let's find a better version. And you spend hours just researching. So thank you for making it easy.
You're so welcome.
Yeah. And for just continuing to put out really awesome products. I love it. And super grateful that you took a few minutes to share your story and share all about Paleovalley.
Yeah, thank you so much for your support and your enthusiasm. And if something I said bothered them or made them happy or they want to reach out, definitely you can. Autumn at Paleovalley. But thank you for your time. This has been wonderful.
Yeah, this is awesome. So you guys go out and get your beef sticks and your amazing supplements. And if you've got questions for Autumn, just drop it in the comments below and I'll make sure that we pass it on to her and that she gets back with you. So thank you so much, Autumn.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
Family.
I sure will. You have a good day. Keep cool over there.
Yeah, right. It's not in Austin. It's been rainy in Austin, so we're not having too much trouble with heat yet. But
that's good.
In a month about that. We'll see.
Exactly.
All right. We'll see you guys.
Okay, bye.